live for the broadcast.
I'm out here for more than an hour. My face really is right if there wasn't.
Is this live? Honestly, if it was, he'd probably deny me anyway.
That's fine. Somebody's going to get mad at me.
Well, we just thought you'll have to like kind of join through and
Yeah. It's probably hard to not have time.
All right, so we'll have you stand right here and answer questions from Serena right here. So stand just like how I'm standing? Yeah.
Yep.
Hey everyone, you're joining us live on Facebook. This is Joe Bartels here, KTNV, Channel 13 Action News. We're in the northeast part of the valley near Lake Mead and Christie Lane, where we're following a very serious and developing situation here. A contractor plane from Nellis Air Force Base went down in a neighborhood around 2:30 this afternoon. I'll get out of the way here. Rudy Garcia will show you again live here on Facebook, where we're showing you the scene. You can see there's a number of police as well as military personnel from Nellis Air Force Base. If you are familiar with this area, we are just off the fence line here at Nellis Air Force Base. Folks around here, no stranger to loud, low military aircraft, fighter jets of all shapes and sizes, very common in the skies here in the northeast part of the valley. Well, what we're hearing from Nellis Air Force Base officials that at 2:30, around 2:30 this afternoon, a contractor plane went down in a neighborhood here. We can see off the camera's left is between these fire trucks. Rudy can kind of see there's some charring right there by that utility pole. That's where that plane went down, we believe. And we've seen Clark County Fire, Las Vegas Fire and Rescue. There's also that red rig just to the left of where Rudy's showing you. That is a rig from Nellis Air Force Base. We did have some video just a little bit ago from Anthony Milano. He was here taking pictures of some of the aircraft in the sky, and he saw the fire trucks racing from Nellis Air Force Base off the base into the neighborhood just to the south of the Air Force Base and trying to rush to the rescue. We're also getting reports that there was a parachute seen, so we believe that the pilot may have ejected somehow, but we do not know as of right now what the status of that individual is or any injuries on the ground. We did see there was animal control as well, a couple of units as well, so there may be animals also involved in this as well. So quite an active scene. Nellis Air Force Base says that they're going to be investigating this as well as a number of other federal agencies, the FAA, for example, and any other ones that are applicable in an investigation like this. But when you talk about some sort of military grade or a military contractor situation, you know, that's going to be a lot of investigating in terms of the other agencies that may be involved in all of this. But getting back to kind of the impacts of the neighborhood here, Rudy, if you can pan to the right here and show, this is Christie Lane right here at Judson Avenue. And it is shut down. We've seen a number of people kind of coming by saying, hey, I want to get home. I want to get around the roadblock. And they're saying, no can do right now. That's the situation. So there's a large swath of this neighborhood that is not accessible at the moment to residents and otherwise. I also see just beyond where these two Metro Police cruisers are, there's a tent it looks like they've set up, as well as another contingent of officers. I believe that's the Incident Command Post. I spoke to one of my sources just a little bit ago and said that Metro Police, they're assisting in any way possible in this investigation. There was also reports that there was a school nearby that was impacted in terms of a shelter in place, because I can see just down the road here on Judson Avenue to the left of the camera, we can see there's a school not far from here. I see the crosswalk, I see the school zone signs. So this happened very close to a school here. We understand that school did go on perhaps a shortened shelter in place while they were trying to figure out what was going on. When we got here about an hour and a half ago, every time the wind kind of shifted direction, we also could smell the very pungent odor of jet fuel. That Jet A, you know, you can't mistake it. You know when you kind of smell it. So that was also in the area. We've seen investigators as well. We saw some folks from Nellis Air Force Base, those flight suits, walking back and forth. We can see some folks here in fatigues as well. So this is obviously being assisted by, and also a number of personnel from the military, namely the Air Force, that are on scene as well, looking and watching what's kind of going on. So this investigation just getting underway. You probably saw around 2:30 this afternoon there was a very noticeable plume of smoke. Jorge Mandaca, our digital director, if you're listening to this Facebook Live, we're on the southwest corner of Judson Avenue, Judson Avenue, and North Christie, Christy Lane in the Northeast Valley. Again, our closest large intersection is going to be right off of Christie Lane and Lake Mead. The major roads not impacted at the moment, but the roadways, certainly Christie Lane is one of the main kind of arteries or roadways that people can use because it goes so far in either direction, basically to the fence line of Christie Lane all the way down to points south of here. So that's a road that people usually take to maybe bypass some of the more crowded streets. But right now, traffic kind of thinning out now. Earlier it was busier, but now we can see some of the folks. Rudy's probably showing you some of the folks here, some neighbors kind of standing just on the outside of the fence looking in or looking at the police tape, waving to maybe some folks because they can't go past there. They've got this area completely kind of shut down at the moment, trying to isolate this area so investigators can kind of get in here and start piecing together what exactly happened. Getting back to the video that we saw just a little bit ago, that was again taken by a local here he has a very good camera, long lens on it, and so he was saying that he was just out here taking pictures, maybe an aviation enthusiast, and saw what looked like a group of planes, maybe 2 or 3 of them. He described them as fighter jets. We now understand that this was a military contractor, but nonetheless, military-grade planes flying low in this area, and he did see just moments after that one of them go down into a neighborhood, a large plume of smoke, and then the video that we have that he took shows personnel from Nellis Air Force Base rushing in their rigs, red, you can't mistake those, fire trucks rushing over to the area to try and assist in any way possible. So that's kind of the situation right here. We don't have a lot of details as of right now in terms of the any fatalities or injuries on the ground. We're waiting to get that information. We're waiting for an official update from a number of officials at Nellis Air Force Base and otherwise. They've been tweeting out a number of just 2 updates that they had sent out just a little bit ago here, basically describing that they were aware of an incident involving an aircraft from the air base, and then a little bit ago, I mean within the last 15 minutes or so, they said that they were here on scene and that this was a military contractor plane, which will be different than the typical planes you might see in terms of a fighter jet or otherwise. So this was a different type of plane. We did see some other folks here in flight suits and maybe some contractors as well. So they'll be a part of the investigation and trying to figure out what exactly happened, but we're not hearing about any conditions as of yet. We've heard from a number of sources, unfortunately, but we're not reporting what we're hearing from our sources just yet. We're waiting for official confirmation as we move forward here. So we're expecting, again, this to be a very lengthy, involved investigation here at Christie Lane, Judson Avenue, or the kind of the minor cross street where traffic you're looking at right now. Rudy Garcia is showing you some of the folks that are around here and the traffic as well. This is the road that's affected right now. And then to the west of here, Judson Avenue is affected, impacted as well. I'm going to load up Facebook Live here. If there's any questions I can help answer, or if you have any concerns, we can try and answer those for you as best as I can. We just have some very limited basic information, kind of what we're seeing and what we're reporting just with our own eyes, and what the authorities have pushed out on their social media platforms. The other thing that we've reached out to typically is the air traffic control for McCarran. They are referring to us to go to Nellis Air Force Base. They would be the point of contact for any details that were to come out with this. So that is what we're waiting on. Nellis has been tweeting out some information every now and again, like I described just a little bit ago. No other real details officially just as of yet in terms of the damage. What we can tell you that as I look over in that general direction, there is a significant charring of where we believe this plane went down, right near a utility pole. And initial reports is that it did go and it did hit a house. That is what we're understanding, but we have not been able to get near there to get our eyes on that so much. So whether it's an outbuilding, like a shed, or if it actually is a residence, a home, anybody inside, that are details. Those are details that we are working to try and get confirmed at the moment. Now, bottom of the hour here, 4:31 here on a Monday afternoon. Weather not an issue from what we can tell. It's been windy the last couple of days, really windy in fact, but today much different story. Winds have calmed down, an absolutely near cloudless sky, so no thunderstorms, no anything else, so that'll be certainly something they may be looking at, you know, in terms of maybe a weather influence. But just from our basic observations right now, skies are clear, winds very calm, so likely not a factor in that situation. Trying to pull up any questions or comments if you're commenting on here. Again, we appreciate you tuning in here to get the very latest information that we have with this. We appreciate it again. I'm going to just pull up the Facebook Live here and see if there's any comments I can pull up. We did hear from some folks who have some inside knowledge as to what's going on as well, and they said that this was, again, a contractor aircraft, which is what we were understanding, and now that is confirmed from Nellis officials as well. Confirmation the pilot ejected. That's what we're understanding. I'm going to attribute that to sources. That sources are telling me that there was an ejection of an individual, a pilot, from the aircraft. We do not know. We do not know the condition of that pilot officially. How are the residents in the house? Daniel says. We do not know. We are waiting on official confirmation on what exactly, if anybody was inside the residence or the building. You can see investigators way out there. Like, we're being kept quite a distance away, but you can see folks kind of walking around the scene at the moment, and a number of different vehicles as well, military and otherwise, that we've seen out here. And we can answer any other questions that you may have as well. We see someone now walking near us. It looks like they've got like a catch pole of some sort. Rudy, just to the right past these cameras, we can see some folks kind of walking towards us. There's a guy, looks like he's in a flight suit, and then someone in a gray, or a tan uniform, walking with like a catch pole, it looks like, walking towards the scene. Thank you, Daniel. We appreciate that. What kind of aircraft? Were there passengers? Carol Dill says. Carol, again, a military aircraft of some sort, a contractor plane. These typically do not hold numbers of people, maybe one or two seats at best. So that's what we're understanding. Again, we did have some pictures taken by an amateur photographer who appears to be an aviation enthusiast that was in the area just moments before this plane went down, and they're not large passenger aircraft. They are, looks like maybe high-performance jets of some sort. Not a lot of people capable of being held in those aircraft. And I see some folks kind of posting that other news outlets have reported a fatality. We're working on getting official confirmation on that, so we're holding off on that. But I just want to let you know that we're unfortunately hearing some information to that effect, but we're waiting on an official word on that. Again, we hope that you will tune in to 13 Action News live at 5. If you're near a TV, please, please, please go over to your TV, flip on Channel 13. We're available on every platform imaginable, from ktnv.com, streaming there, OTT, which is our streaming services. If you have Roku or Apple TV, or join us that way, or if you're a cable subscriber, we're on Channel 13, 1-3 ABC. Or if you have over-the-air antenna, you can find us on there as well. Channel 13 will be on there. We've got a number of people working this situation. We're going to have triple team coverage. Myself here. We also have Jeremy Chen, Action News reporter. He's spoken to a number of folks here. Again, this is a neighborhood, so lots of people kind of about and listening and watching and wondering what's going on. So we have information from them, as well as Trisha Keene. Trisha Keene is out here, from what I understand, and she'll also be joining us with some details. One of the big questions people have is, like, we cannot remember the last time a plane like this went down, and I'm trying to rack my brain, and it's an incredibly rare to hear anything like this. So the last time I was seeing was maybe back decades ago. That's when people are kind of responding. I saw a former City Councilman Bob Coffin tweeting the Las Vegas Fire and Rescue PIO saying, I don't remember the last time a military plane like this went down, and he went back all the way to 1965. That's when he says he can remember the last time a plane going down in North Las Vegas. So if that is indeed the last time, it's been quite a while. Just a testament to the safety, to the training of the pilots here, the reliability. Again, I cannot underscore how, in fact, rare this is, especially in the northeast part of the valley, a plane going down like this. Just an unfortunate situation, waiting on some details from authorities as well, but you can imagine this will be a long, lengthy investigation as well. Hey, Rose, we are as accurate as we possibly can and strive for accuracy in everything we do. There was a plane that crashed into a home near North Las Vegas Airport 15 or 20 years ago near Lake Mead and Simmons. That's one of the things that Trisha Keene is looking into, is to try and get a comprehensive list of maybe aircraft incidents and, speaking specifically about Nellis Air Force Base and not in general aviation, because I'm sure that there's been other incidents as well that I can kind of recall. I know there was incidents involving the Metro Police Air Unit as well. Again, if you're just joining us here on 13 Action News live on Facebook, you're watching the investigation unfolding here of a contractor plane going down in a neighborhood. You're looking at the intersection of Judson Avenue and Christie Lane, where Metro Police have a perimeter set up. We also see there's folks in fatigues talking over here, kind of manning this southern portion of this scene. At the end of this road is the fence line for Nellis Air Force Base, just to give you a sense of just how close we are and how close this is to the Nellis Air Force Base property. Down Christie Lane, as I believe Rudy's showing you, there is a number of police just beyond this police tape. I see a blue tent and a number of folks and personnel kind of congregating around, and looks like maybe getting a briefing of some sort. That's typical in something like this, where they kind of get everyone a meeting of the minds, kind of, this is what's going on, this is what we know, this is perhaps what we don't know, and just getting everything together. Typically then we get a briefing where they'll come out and speak to us, and we can ask questions about specifically any injuries, fatalities, damage to homes, everything that we'd be looking to know or ask as well. And we hope, again, to get some sort of briefing here. If not, about 20 minutes to the top of the hour, 4:40 p.m. You're just joining us here. Plane going down, a military contractor plane going down in a neighborhood in the northeast part of the valley. And then Jorge or folks on the desk, if you're listening to this Facebook Live, we'll wrap this up in about 5 minutes or so. We'll start getting ready for the 5 o'clock as well, so we appreciate everyone watching. We got about 400 people watching this Facebook live stream here on 13 Action News, bringing you the very latest details as we're learning them. As you're watching us live here, we are learning and working information as fast as we possibly can. Jeremy Chen is standing by just a little bit to my left here. He's getting ready for the 5 o'clock as well, and he spoke to some folks who have some firsthand. They were here just literally moments after this plane went down, caught fire, big plume of smoke. If you were anywhere in the valley, you probably saw. I see a drone now. They're flying a drone. There's a drone in the sky. That's what they've been doing to document scenes. See that drone right? It's kind of just above the house line now, flying in a west direction now. It's kind of out of sight, but we did a story actually, Metro Police using drones for a number of things, documenting scenes, homicides, fatal crashes, even shootings. And this appears to be perhaps an application where they can get a nice kind of bird's eye view of what's going on, and then they can get a documentation of the scene from the air. When I was driving over here around 3 o'clock or a little bit after 3, I saw the air unit, Metro's air unit, flying orbits around this area, which is not uncommon when you have something like this. They want to be able to get people safe and get units there as quickly as possible to get ready, to respond or to help in any way possible. The other thing that I did not mention, I believe, but we were hearing that there was a school nearby at the very top of this Facebook Live here, that there was a brief time where they were possibly put on a precautionary shelter-in-place order just because they did not know what's actually, the gravity or maybe how big of the situation is. When we also arrived just after 3 o'clock, you could obviously smell that jet fuel. If you've ever been to the airport or been near a plane, it's unmistakable. A very, very noticeable odor of jet fuel would kind of, you could smell it. I haven't smelled it in a while. The wind's kind of switched directions now, so that was something I just happened to notice while we were here on the scene. Thank you, Teresa. Yes, we're waiting on some details from Nellis Air Force Base. They've been tweeting out just a quick couple of line sentences, nothing really in depth with details, just saying that there was an aircraft from the base that was involved and this was a contractor plane. That's the official details that we have. But I can tell you from our reporting here on 13 Action News live on Facebook that we can see remnants of a charged structure of some sort, whether it's a home, a dwelling, an outbuilding, a storage shed. We're not exactly sure because we're just too far away to see positively what it is, but there's clearly some damage of some sort of structure here just off of Judson Avenue and Christie Lane, points just to the north and west of that location. Okay, it is 4:45, 15 minutes to the top of the hour. We're going to wrap this up here, and we'll bring you the very latest on 13 Action News. Again, there's a number of ways that you can reach out to us as well and watch our live team coverage. That's on Channel 13 if you're a cable subscriber. Watch here on ktnv.com. We also have a number of streaming channels as well. If you have Roku or Apple TV, please tune to 13 Action News. We'll bring you the details as we learn them. Some video you have not seen just yet, pictures also from the scene, and complete team coverage here on 13 Action News. So we really hope you join us here live on 13 Action News. We'll sign off for now, guys, but we appreciate you tuning in, watching with the comments, and we will see you on 13 Action News here in 15 minutes. Take care.